Hey YouTube friends, today we're talking about what I think is one of the most fun things about being a plant parent. It's a real opportunity to get a little bit creative, and that's plant styling and how to display our plants. It's a question that I get pretty often from friends and family when they're just starting out. There is just so much information out there, so many options for styling our plants that it can certainly feel a little bit overwhelming at first. With my friends in mind who are finding this whole topic a little bit overwhelming, this video is just a place for you to start. We'll do a bit of a walk around my home and I'll show you some of the ways that I like to style plants. Just like all things that I do plant care, I like to try and keep it simple, easy, enjoyable. Life is busy enough. Looking after plants should bring you joy, not additional stress. It's certainly been a bucket load of fun to film. And if you're new here, hey, I'm Mel. A few years ago, I was a total plant parent tragic. My compost bin was just overflowing with my failures. But today, I'm a proud plant mum to over 150 plants, most of them healthy. I'm no expert. At the end of the day, I'm just a crazy plant lady who loves talking about plants. And if you enjoy this video and find it helpful, I'd really appreciate you subscribing to this channel and joining this little planty corner of the internet. I'm on a mission to reach my first 100 subscribers and let the YouTube universe know that I'm here so that I might be able to share more of my tips and tricks with other plant parents who might appreciate them as well. So whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for spending time with me. Grab a warm drink, get comfy, and let's nerd out over plants together. I'm so excited for today's video. So I think before we talk about any of the fun things about plant styling and how to display your plants, the very first thing to think about is to put your plant's care needs first. And the reason I say that is because if you've got happy plants, you're just going to enjoy them more. They're just going to be easier to look after, cause you less problems, all the things. And that is the perfect segue to show off two of my wishlist plants that I got this week. I was meeting a really good friend from high school for coffee, and she lives very close to my absolute favorite nursery. And of course I said, I'll just catch up for coffee. I don't need any plants. But when we got there, I've been wanting a monkey's tail cactus. I can't remember how long I've wanted one of these for. They are just so beautiful. I'll make sure, for anyone who hasn't seen one of these full grown, I'll make sure that Editing Mel puts a picture up for you. But I'd only ever seen them around our nurseries when they were pretty established, and so they were a good $40 or $50 for one plant. I'm a little bit nervous spending that much on a plant when I haven't grown one before, and our local nursery had these. I think they were $12.95, so I got myself two, of course. And I've already got a few plant club friends who are asking for propagations for absolutely the same reason. And although they're a cactus, by all accounts they don't need as much sun as some cactus and succulents, but they still do need lots and lots of bright light. So before I bought these, I had a really good think about where can they go? Can I give them enough light? There's only one corner in our house that I can grow cactus and succulents without any grow lights whatsoever, and it is absolutely chockers. I cannot fit any more in there. But where I do have space is up here on our entry wall. So there's grow lights up here, and you can see I've actually even got a prop box up here, and I've got a spot right next to that for the two little monkey tail cactus. I don't always have the prop box up there because I just think aesthetically it looks a little bit not ideal. But being winter, I am chasing that humidity a little bit. So once those monkey tails get a little bit bigger, hopefully they'll grow really well there, and then they will end up being a feature plant in the middle of all of my other jungle cactus. Okay, back in the room. I was so excited to find those monkey tail cactus. Fingers crossed I'll be really happy. They're in that prime position. They've got getting the maximum amount of grow lights, because how nice would that monkey's tail cactus growing down in between my ripsalis, how nice is that going to look? The next thing to think about, and it's something that I've learned the hard way over and over again, and that is definitely, so think about the logistics of caring for the plant wherever you put it or whatever container you put it in. So if it's hard to look after, you're just going to be less likely, well, I know me personally, if something's hard, I'm so much less likely to do it. I'm going to put it off, and then potentially the plant's going to not become happy with me. So I'm always trying to think ahead and think, okay, that's going to look great there, or I think that'll work there, but okay, how am I actually going to look after the plant? How am I going to water the plant? How am I going to feed the plant? And there's a bit in that, I guess, and sometimes you do have to learn that the hard way. So one of my very good friends is moving house at the moment, and so she's asked me to help her with a plant wall, which is, oh my god, it's so exciting. But logistically, I'm thinking it's a few meters tall and it's at the top of a staircase. I'm thinking safety, but also the wall's not waterproofed, obviously. How are we going to maintain the plants to keep them happy and healthy but also I don't want to damage her wall in any way with the water that might run down when we're watering it.
There are just so many clever and creative ways to make the most of our vertical spaces. It's such a brilliant way to add visual interest, and let's be honest, fit in even more plants into your home without taking up any more space on those precious horizontal surfaces. Along with my usual favourites of macrame hangers and vintage ladders, here's a few more fun ideas to try, all thanks to Pinterest.
You guys are probably sick of me showing you these antique ladders because we have the best of bricks. It is just so hard for me anyway to drill into those best of bricks with the hammer drill. I try to think of ways that I can use the vertical space without taking up too much horizontal space for my plant, and so things like ladders have just been a game changer for me. I'm just in love with these antique ladders. It's taller than me, this ladder, and see how many beautiful plants I can fit into this corner. And it means that it doesn't feel cramped anymore. When I was trying to fit them in just a horizontal space on a side table, I couldn't fit anywhere near this many plants on it, and I felt quite cramped in the room. Up here, my variegated monstera, it's not ideal. I have to get on a chair to water that, and I put it in a cane basket so it's light. I wouldn't put a big heavy ceramic basket up there, imagine if it fell. And I made sure it was quite an open weave, because that is not an ideal setup, but I think it's good enough for now. And on that, just like all of my plant care, Little Miss Recovering Perfectionist here, I think it's a really good practice for me. I try to think of all of my plant displays as a work in progress. It depends on the season. It depends what plants I've got, what plants are going well. So I just keep reminding myself that the displays don't have to be permanent. It's not fixed. I can easily move things around. And you can see if I want some different variation in height, just using books here again. One of my second favourite things, books, plants number one. I've got a cupboard where I've heaps spare candles, so I think they're really great. They look really good additions in amongst the plants. And then down here, for example, I've just added a candle down here. There's normally a plant down here. It's an aglaonema, but it's not going so well. So I've actually put it in one of my rehab spots. And just for now, I'll put a candle there. But then if the aglaonema starts going okay, I'll bring it back. And I'm on the lookout for, see how this wrappy is just in a plain black pot? I try not to rush out and buy cover pots until I see something that I really love. And I actually have found one, but I like to take my time with those sorts of things because pots aren't cheap. And the other thing, there's so many things I could do with that. I could get a basket. I love buying baskets from just Kmart or thrift shops. They are a great way to cover pots up. There are so many different things. This is an old candle holder, for example, that I no longer use. It just had tea lights in it. This is a philodendron propagation that I've got, and I've just got that in water. These are fantastic. I've not long discovered them. So these are Kmart pots. They're only $10 each, and they have been a fantastic addition to my little self-watering setup. So I've got the water in there. I can't get these saucers. These saucers only go up, I think, I want to say 20 or 25 centimeters is the biggest that they go. And I was struggling to find what to do with my plants when they got larger because I love the self-watering setup. I'm really finding watering my plants so much easier with it. And so these are great for the next step up for the.
Beyond terracotta and ceramic pots, there's lots and lots of ways to show off our plants. Think baskets, old mugs, teacups, mason jars, and even recycled tins. I really like recycled tea tins. Pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, pretty much anything that can hold soil or water can become a plant's home. And of course, bonus points for anything thrifted, repurposed, or upcycled. I think that it adds personality and tells a story.
So another thing that I discovered the hard way is as plants get bigger, they of course get heavier. So this is one of my OG peperomias. For anyone who watched that video, the YouTube video of it falling in the toilet, when it was first a little propagation, it is alive and going very well. But definitely as the plants get bigger, certainly from 30 centimeters onwards, they do become heavier, and I found moving them in and out to maintain them or even shifting them around the house, I was putting it off because they were getting more awkward to move around the house. So definitely trying to keep in mind, once again, the logistics of the maintenance. These guys are fantastic. I love these timber pots as well. They're nice and lightweight. And I also love, where have I got one? I'll show you as we go around the house. They're also really good to turn upside down and to use as plant stands. I get those from Spotlight. So they're great, they're lightweight, they add that little bit of difference. So see, I've got a ceramic pot in there, and then I've got the timber, and then I've got a plastic pot. So if you're looking for that mix and match, I just think they're fantastic for that. I'm always on the lookout for these little stands. So for little cheap, they're just from Kmart, but same from Bunnings, from op shops. I'm always looking for different ways to elevate plants up off the ground. This has definitely been one of my favourite planty finds. So you can get these for quite expensive online. I think I've seen them for between $100 and $150. This one was actually $20 at Kmart. It's a telescopic pole. It actually adjusts depending on the height. I can't remember, it goes to over 2 meters. And those shelves are all adjustable as well. So depending on where you need to put your plants, you can hang plants off it as well. There's actually hooks. You can just hang it off here, but there's actually some little hooks that come with it as well that you can hang things off. Oh, I just love this so much. It's such a small space between our shower and our vanity. Being able to put those plants there has been so cool. I would recommend them to anyone. My planty friend who introduced them to me has about 3 scattered all around her house. You definitely don't need to just use them for bathrooms. I was just looking for something specifically to fit in that very small gap. And just the fact that those shelves are adjustable as well as your plants grow and change. So on that, let me just turn the light off for you guys. There's actually a grow light up in the light in the roof. You can see how dark that is. There's no way plants would actually grow in this space without those grow lights. And since putting the grow lights in and putting that shower caddy in, I feel like I've got a little bit of greenery. Is it like an atrium style bathroom? And then likewise, because I've got that beautiful light, I didn't want to waste it. So this is the other side of our ensuite, and you see it's getting that beautiful light as well. So I just got some heavy duty hooks. Same thing, I didn't want to drill into the tile, so I just got some heavy duty hooks, and I've just used those macrame hangers again in just the lightweight plastic self-watering pots, making sure the plants aren't too big, and they go really well there. And being in the self-watering pots, I'm only having to just top them up sort of every 2 weeks or so, and just another opportunity to take advantage of those beautiful grow lights. And something so simple, I haven't had to put up a permanent shelf or anything like that. I can easily change the plants around as they grow, or depending on what plants are needing the warmth and the humidity and the beautiful light in this bathroom. Here's another example. This is our second washroom, our second toilet. I've had to turn the grow light off to show you because it makes the camera go funny. But this is another example of, so I had a hook that was already permanently up here, and I absolutely love this. Like, this might have been from June, maybe, this macrame shelf. I just adore this shelf. Most of the plants in here are rehabs or propagations, and having the grow light in here is just such a nice place to grow these plants. So there is a window you can see behind, but we've got a patio cover, so that's the front of our house, and it really does just block too much of the light. I found pothos do okay if I have them on the shelf, but it really isn't enough light in here without the grow light on. And this wall that I showed you towards the start of the video, directly above us is a beautiful skylight. So hashtag married to a tradie. That is our new kitchen from like 3 years ago. It hasn't quite had the back finish, but look at all that beautiful horizontal space I have to grow all of my plants. I just love it. And look, maybe one day it might be finished, but I just love growing the plants up there. Over here, so something that I do, I like to save lots of jars. That's one of our favorite pasta sauces. These are fantastic for growing propagations in, so I just love saving glass containers or finding them in op shops and growing plants in water. There's just something really pretty about that. Using recycling old things. So that's an old watering can that I wasn't using, it was just getting wasted, and so I've just got some leca and perlite in there, and I'm growing my snake plant. Remembering that I am absolutely not an expert, but spending way too much time on Pinterest. What I have learned with regards to styling is just making sure that you do have that variation of height just for the interest. So see along here, this is far from perfect at the moment. Actually, this display, I've had to bring, these are propagations of my Ficus taniki. And once again, being winter, I've put them in this little humidity setup. I normally have quite a bushy instant jungle plant here, but I really needed to utilize these grow lights while it's in winter. I could have waited until the weather warmed up, but I was really excited to get those done. But see here, just the other day I swapped these two plants out, and I used to have a dwarf snake plant here, but it was actually the same height as the spider plant, and it just didn't look right. So I moved the snake plant to another location, and I put in my brand new syngonium. So that does a few things. Firstly, see, they're completely different leaf shapes, different colors, slightly different textures. And I don't know, just for me, I think that feels like it works better than having those two plants when the two plants were very similar in height. It looked wrong. And then going over here, same thing. Oh my goodness, how cool is this? This was made by a 3D printer. How clever is that? So I've just put some of my perlite and pond in there and just put one of my spider plant propagations. Isn't that so cool? One of my neighbours made it for me. Just beautiful. So many clever ways. I hope this is giving you guys some ideas. I am so far from an expert, but it's just little things that I've learned over the years. And as I said, none of this is stagnant. My plants change all the time. I love this corner. See how it's starting to get a little bit of sun in the afternoon? This is one of my favorite little planty corners. Love just the opportunity to put cute little things in amongst my plants. Sorry for the sun then. How cute is this? This turns on. It's got lights through it. So at night time it is just so pretty. Always looking for little things to put in amongst my plants. This is one of my favorite off-shop vines. Such a nice glass container. Just growing a fiddle leaf in here. They grow so well in water. I love this container. Just have to be careful when containers have those necks like this. You've got to be really careful of the root ball. If you let the plants get too big in here and then pull them out, you can actually damage the root ball or have to smash the glass container. And I definitely do not want to smash that container. It is a definite favorite. Over here is a really good example. So my eldest son plays the guitar, and this was just a spare guitar that he had. So I just thought it'll look really good in amongst the plants. This is just a normal pot, nothing exciting. I think I got it from Spotlight, but what I have got is I've put it on a bunning stand. So when it was just sitting down on the ground, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Wise between the different plants, it didn't feel right. So I just put a stand on it, and I felt like it made the heights, I guess, more balanced of the plants. My big monstera, I've actually got this stand that is on is just a cane pot that I've upended. So height-wise, I was just looking for the variety of heights. So see how now the monstera is taller than the fiddle leaf fig. I am so sorry, the sun is coming straight across my camera at the moment. Yeah, so I just felt like the monstera needed to be lifted a little bit off the ground. And then up there, my favorite Utilising, just in a really simple DIY hanger. And then over here, this is a good example, I guess. My reading lady, any excuse to show her to you guys. Just love it. Another glass jar. This one's a recent off-shop find, but it had a fake succulent in it, and it was just glued in there. So I just took the glue out, and now I've just put some water in there, and I'm just growing a little pothos propagation. I just thought the bird, I want to say it was $1 at an off-shop, and I just thought that is so cute to grow water propagations in. And then the other thing I've been playing with off-shop wise is with my self-watering pots, I normally have those clear saucers. And a few videos ago, I was saying to you guys, I was experimenting with just putting a nice tray underneath them, just trying to work out the aesthetics of doing that, because ADHD brain, I really need the visual of when things need to be watered, or I just absolutely forget. But what I found at the off-shop when I found the little bird is I've been finding a lot of these little clay saucers. And so this is also a self-watering setup. And because this pot doesn't go all the way up, it is still easy for me to see if it needs to be watered. So I'm wondering if, oh, look at that. I'm wondering if that might be my new self-watering setup from now on. I have a great excuse to go do some more off-shopping, because I actually quite like the aesthetic of that. It was also $2. And I've got another one here. Where's the other? Oh, here. My Satin Pothos, same thing. That one's a little bit tighter, but still. Oh, that one needs water. That's a little bit tighter, a little bit harder to see, but I'm really liking the aesthetic of that. So more books, more sources. Oh my goodness, I don't know how many books I've ruined by putting plants on top of them and then forgetting to put a saucer underneath. Don't do that, guys. It's really bad. Likewise, I did for this one. I almost ruined this book. So I assumed that this teacup would be okay, and it started making a mark on the book underneath it. So I've had to put a plate underneath that as well. And then outside, this is one of my favorite corners outside. It is very much a work in progress. I haven't worked out what to do with my snake plants yet. So they're in one of those new pots, the plastic pots that I'm just absolutely loving. Yeah, it's not on a stand or anything, so I need to work out something to do with that. But this is definitely one of my favorite corners in the house. So I've just used one of those old school, is it the core, coconut core fillers in just a wire hanging basket. There's nothing exciting about the pots that I've got for the fiddle leaf, but I just made sure it was a fiberglass pot. So once again, nice and easy to move. I've got it up off the ground so it's able to drain, and I've got it on a roller so I can actually move it in and out when I need. So that was a bit of a blank wall there, but I had a hook, so I've just used another macrame holder there. And then this is one of my new ladders. I really haven't styled this. I haven't done very much with this at all. All the plants on it are really happy for now. I would like to mix and match, I guess, get some different pots happening there, and maybe even some, I don't know, little outdoor ornaments. Not sure. There's lots of things I'm going to be able to do. I've got a beautiful little rain chain as well. I think I might put in here. Oh, this is just a black stool, a plain black stool that we had spare that I'm using as a stand. Always looking for different ways of creating different heights. I hope cringe to show you guys this. I think ChatGPT called it my cupboard of doom. This is where my dryer used to go. You can see, married to a tradie once again. But the really good thing about having this space now that the dryer's in the other room is I didn't feel like I could talk about plant styling without showing you guys this. So this is where I keep my stashes, I try and keep it as tidy as possible. Old mugs and jars and saucers to go underneath. I just keep all of these things so that when I'm styling, it just makes it that little bit easier. I've got a little bit of a stash, get op-shop finds, that sort of thing, as plants are growing or changing. I've done this little guy for Halloween. I can't wait to put a plant in here. But the other thing I wanted to show you in here, absolutely love these. Have you guys seen these? The little propagation test tubes. These are great. I have 2 or 3 of them. I don't have any little propagations that I need these for, but that's just another really nice addition. I actually gave one of the chunkier ones to a friend as a housewarming gift just recently with a syngonium in it. I just think these are great, and once again, not that expensive from your Temus and your Sheins online. And then over here, my husband is always missing his coffee jars. Because it's winter, I'm just searching for that little bit of extra humidity. I use these as little terrariums when I'm rehabbing plants. I've got the 2 coffee jars here that are the same size. I know they're just rehab plants and they won't be there forever, but I always like to put things at different levels. I think it just adds some interest. So I often add books underneath the layers. I just can't help myself. I really like the feel of that one. Love to collect the crystals when we're on holidays. Even though it's propagations, I've still tried to mix and match different leaf types and heights. To group those plants together, one of the tricks that I love to do is just put them on some sort of tray. So when I've got smaller plants, instead of just having 3 individual small plants just randomly stacked around, I think it's really nice to add some sort of tray or container to bring them all together. The other thing that a lot of people say to me, is this your laundry, Mel? No, it's not, but I put the dryer in here originally because I am short and I was having trouble reaching it in our laundry cupboard, but also it's fantastic horizontal space for plants, but also it gives this room really nice humidity for the plants. So it's a little bit of a bonus, I have to say. So once again, using what you have by putting the dryer in here, it's been a massive game changer for my plants in this room. It'll be interesting to see when I'm editing this just how long I just walked around the house and talked for you guys. I thought I'd better stop it there just so this video is not too long. But I'm hoping that just by showing you my displays, imperfections and all, work in progress, I guess just a bit of trial and error and giving it a go, seeing what works. It doesn't have to be expensive. It definitely doesn't have to be Pinterest or Insta-worthy. Just thinking about making it as easy as possible for yourself, maintenance-wise, and also making sure the plant's getting the right light and humidity that it needs. I hope this video has given you guys a great place to start. I just dip your toes in the water. Hope it's got lots and lots of ideas happening. I'd love to hear down in the comments if it sparked any ideas for you, or because there are so many different ways that you can style plants, what have I missed? What do you enjoy doing? What's a styling tip that you might have for new plant parents that works really well for you? I'm a super small channel and I read every comment. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really, really appreciate it. Until my next video, take care. And remember guys, you've totally got this.